Okay, first thing we're going to do is from the back of the table, looking towards the cervical. That will be the left-hand side. You're going to lift up the side of the table, put a little block under the 1 foot. I'm only using one block here, so please leave that one in there. And then you're going to move over to the next one, put another block into this one. And this will prevent the little balls and the springs from falling out of the mechanism when you start working on the drops. Now, here we are with the tools. These are Allen keys. These are different types of Allen keys that you can use. And then there's a wrench or pliers. These are opening pliers. And then there's a wrench. This is 9/16 wrench with an open end. And a set of vice grips. Wrench, pliers, Allen keys. Okay. Now what we're going to do is you're going to remove the plastic handle, and in order to do this you have to take the 9/16 wrench and you're going to turn back the nut that is up against that little plastic handle, and we're going to loosen that off. Now this might be a little tricky and a little hard, and that's why the pliers are there, or the vice grips, is to apply a little more pressure and more grip to the plastic handle so you can remove that 9/16 wrench, like I'm showing here with the pliers holding the plastic. You may want to use this when you're actually removing it, and use the pliers on the threaded rod so you can remove the plastic handle. Once removed, you will be removing the nut on the outside, just like I'm showing here. And then you will remove the other nut that's up against the collar. Okay, you may need to use the vice grips on the threaded rod in order to do this, because there is some Loctite on this. You want to remove, excuse me, the nut from there. And then next step is to remove the collar. You'll need the, okay, I'm showing the vice grips on the threaded rod that you may need in order to get that nut off. Okay, like I'm showing here. Like, see on the threaded rod to remove the nut. Okay. Next step is to remove the collar that is there. All right. With the Allen key, I'm showing the one Allen key, and then I show the one with a whole bunch of Allen keys in it, or screws or whatever. Wrench. You're going to remove, like I said, you're going to go in, you're going to remove the collar by loosening off the grub screw. Right. And then you're going to remove this little tube off the threaded rod. Okay. You can put these off to the side. You may be able to use these again. I think I sent stuff in the package. Now we're going to go underneath the table to your mechanism. And we're going to use the Allen key to loosen off the grub screws just a little bit so that they slide. So you can slide the collars like so. And move this one. You can see I already did this. All right. Now next step, we're going to go over to the right hand side, or the left hand side again, and now we're going to remove the threaded rod. This part of the video is a bit long, but I'm just demonstrating here that it will take a little while to get this threaded rod to the position where it will slide out. You can always slide the video ahead a little bit if you find this a little too long, but this shows basically what you will need to do to get this threaded rod out of the threads on the opposite side. And once that's done, then you'll be able to slide the threaded rod with the plastic handle on it completely out, and I'll be showing that in a little while. Okay. I'm going to move my thing here. I'm working off of the bench where the drops are done. and trying to work. Sometimes I'm trying to work with one hand and hold my camera with the other. But this will get a little long trying to get this rod out. Just be patient with it. You will get to a point where it will be loose. Once it's loose, then you're going to go back underneath the table. Where the mechanism is. We're going to work in that area. Anyways, I hope this helps everybody that watches how to change out their threaded rod. On their dual tension drops. And now we're done with that. Now here we are with the inside, and we're going to put our fingers or try to make sure that the parts underneath do not fall off, and I'm pulling out the threaded rod. And then we're going to remove the first collar, and then we're going to remove the block that has the pin that goes into the adjuster, and then the other collar. I'm going to put them off to the side. And I'm going to show now the new threaded rod that was sent with a package. And on this threaded rod there is a little pinhole. I'll show. You can see there's a little pinhole here. And this is where the clevis pin is going to go. You want to make sure that this is on the, you slide the threaded rod so that that hole is on the left hand side of your table from, like I said, standing from the back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the first collar, as you can see here. And what you want to do is check and make sure that I know that the we put blocks underneath the feet, but there is a chance that still that the balls and spring may fall out. So you want to make sure that the ball that's inside the adjuster, I'm showing in my hand, ball and the spring, make sure that they don't fall out of the tube that's the mechanism here that I'm pointing at. Okay. Now we're going to take the block with the pin. We're going to set it. We're going to make sure that it's in the tube, the pin, and we're going to add the second collar. Now we'll start sliding the threaded rod over, keeping a little bit of pressure on that one collar so that you can keep pressure there so it's not going to let that pin come out of that tube. We're going to go over far enough now that you're going to be in contact with the other block guide with the threads in it, and we're going to start threading this in. Like I said, this could take a little bit, and it might help now to get the one plastic handle and a nut that came in the package and put the nut on. This is on the left hand side. You're going to put the nut on, and then you're going to put the plastic handle, the star handle. You turn that on. We're going to turn it on as far as it will go. Then you're going to take the nut and put it up against the plastic star handle. Then you're going to take the 9/16 wrench, and we're going to give it a really good heave so that it's tight up against. That way it won't come loose when you're tightening and loosening your tension on your drops once we're all done. Sorry about that. And here we're going to put that, like I said, turn the threaded rod now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to check where that pinhole that I mentioned before. We're going to turn the threaded rod until you can actually see that pinhole in between the first guide and the first collar. You should be able to see it if you full screen this, the little hole. It's coming in fairly quickly there. So you can at some point it may be necessary, once you see that going through, kind of guess how far it might need to go, and then you can tighten the grub screws on those two collars. Tighten it down until you see the pinhole, and then put the clevis pin in. I believe I show this a little bit. Anyway, hopefully you can see the clevis pin. Keep going until you see the pinhole in between, like I said, the guide block and the collar. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the little clevis pin that I show. A few seconds. Should be coming in a few seconds here. I think I really look for one. Okay, you ready? There it is, the clevis pin. We're going to insert that into the hole on the threaded rod, and this will prevent any of the collars from slipping back. This is where most of the pressure is on that back collar. So we're going to put it in there, and we're going to tighten down the, make sure everything is backed up enough for the drop. And we're going to tighten up the grub screw. You can see I'm pulling that clevis pin in because I'm going to demonstrate the actually tightening up the grub screw first, just in case you can't see that pinhole, so that you can actually turn the handle far enough ahead, 1.5 turns or 1 turn, so you can still see the grub screw after you turned it. You can see I'm tightening it down. Now I'm going to turn the handle so that it pushes the block ahead, and it pushes that first collar ahead a little bit, so that you get a better view of the pinhole in the threaded rod. You're going to insert the collar pin. Now you're going to turn it until you can get to the grub screw. You're going to loosen it off so that it will set itself, and then retighten it down. Okay. Make sure everything is tightened up in there. Now you're going to tighten up this grub screw on that collar, and same thing on the other collar. Make sure that they are absolutely tight. And once these are tight, now your drop should be set underneath. And now we move on to the opposite side. On the right hand side, we're going to take the tube first, and we're going to put it up against the first block with the threads, and then we're going to take a collar. We're going to put the collar on, put it on as tight as much as possible. We're going to tighten it down, the grub screw down, okay, with the Allen key, just like so. Tighten it down. Okay, now we're going to take the nut. We're going to tighten that nut up against that collar with the 9/16 wrench. Okay, just like shown here. Tighten it right up. You may have to hold the handle on the other side in order to get the good grip. Now you took the other nut, put that one on. Plastic handle, star handle. We're going to put that on there. And now we're going to take that other nut, and we're going to tighten it up against that star handle as tight as possible. Okay. And this should set your drop, and this should be all you need to do to get this drop fixed up with that new threaded rod that was sent to you. Okay.